If you were to show me a family without conflict, I would show you a river that does not bend. For every household under the sun has tasted quarrel. Brothers have fought. Sisters have betrayed. Parents have been slain by their own seed. And all in the pursuit of one elusive crown, power. From the dust of ancient lands to the throne rooms of empires, the story remains the same. Kin turned against kin, yet bound by blood that no blade could sever. Let us begin where humanity is said to have started, in the cradle of civilization, where all races once lived together in a unified state, under the mighty empire of Sumer, established by Nimrod, son of Cush, grandson of Ham, son of Noah. Yes, before race, before kingdoms, before borders, there was family. But Nimrod, though a descendant of Ham, did not hesitate to subdue and rule over the very sons of his own grandfather, his own blood. When Sumer fell, not by human hand, but by divine confusion of tongues, mankind dispersed, and the great migration began. Japheth's descendants moved westward into the lands we now call Europe. Shem's line remained in Mesopotamia, later spreading into Asia. Ham's children, including Mizraim and Put, moved south into the land we call Africa. From these movements, kingdoms were born, cultures flourished, and yet blood was shed. The sons of Mizraim birthed what we now call ancient Egypt, a land of science and might. The sons of Put, the ancestors of the Batwa, Khoisan, occupied the heart of the continent long before the modern age. Later, from Mizraim's legacy, would rise the Bantu, and the story of the continent would be written in shared DNA and spilled blood. And as the centuries passed, empires fell into the hands of new conquerors. The Assyrians, descendants of Shem, invaded Egypt in 673 BCE. Then the Babylonians, their own relatives, took Egypt in 625 BCE. Soon after, the Persians arrived, and with them came betrayal. Cambyses II, a Persian king, murdered his own brother Bardia for the throne. The throne of Egypt became a game of chess for empires, but the pieces, they were brothers, all playing for power. And then came the Greeks, led by Alexander the Great. They shattered Egypt's native rule forever, and slowly, the children of Egypt, its native people, began to disappear southward, absorbed into the heart of Africa. Let this truth be known. The Bantu and the Batwa are not strangers. They are not of separate origin. They are of one father, Ham. Put and Mizraim were brothers, and through them came the Batwa and the Bantu. So why then has brother turned against brother? History is filled with echoes of this betrayal, not just in Africa, but across the world. Phraates IV of Parthia, a king born of noble blood, executed every one of his brothers to secure his throne. His ambition could not tolerate equals. Herod the Great of Judea, a ruler who feared even his own shadow. He murdered his wife and 2 sons, driven by paranoia and lust for control. Richard III of England declared his own nephews illegitimate and imprisoned them in the Tower of London. They vanished, presumed murdered, so that he could wear the crown. Ivan the Terrible of Russia a man who, in a fit of rage, struck down his eldest son, ending his lineage with his own trembling hands. What changed? Nothing. The names changed. The crowns changed. But the heart of man remained bound to the throne of dominance. Even here at home, we have seen this tragedy unfold. Changa killed his own brother Naoma to take the throne in the Mwenimutapa kingdom. Dingiswayo slew his brother Moawe to rule the Mtetwa kingdom. Dingan murdered Shaka Zulu, his half-brother, ending the reign of one of Africa's greatest military minds. These men did not come from different races. They shared the same bloodlines. The issue was never race. It was the system, a world that crowned the most ruthless and taught us to fear our brothers more than our enemies. There is a theory often repeated that some nations are older, more advanced, or more pure than others. But what if that is simply the result of isolation? What if the so-called older nations are merely less intermixed, preserved like clay pots that were never melted down to forge new vessels? We must stop mistaking purity for origin. All people were born of one breath, from one beginning, and scattered by one event. Our divisions are recent. Our oneness is ancient. So what are we left with? A history soaked in pain. A continent divided by colonial lines and invisible scars. Families that no longer see their reflection in one another. But also hope. For the same blood that once built empires can now rebuild unity. The Batwa and the Bantu, the Khoisan and the Nguni, the Zulu and the Sotho, the Arab and the Hebrew, the Asian and the African, we were never meant to be strangers. We were brothers who forgot the face of our father. Let this be our new narrative, not one of dominance, but of shared destiny, not one of tribal rivalry, but of ancient kinship, not one of competition, but of restoration. Let our generation be the one that remembers what history tried to forget, that though brothers may quarrel, they remain brothers still. If this resonated with you, it's time to share the truth. Let others remember. Let this message echo louder than division, louder than pride. Let us return to the tree. One root, one beginning, one people. Subscribe to the channel for more truths from the soil that birthed humanity.